and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where we do have a very wide range of topics in today's video, lots of different things up for discussion, and we are going to have more details, especially on Pablo Torre's exit from the club. That is very much imminent. We've got more discussions on fullback targets at Barca right now, and we do have real discussion on these Marc Casado exit rumours, a closer look at our midfield. It is all on the way, and plenty more too, so let's get to it. But today's news roundup, guys, is coming to you courtesy of Manscaped, because the summer is well and truly here. The sun is shining, it's absolutely beautiful, and think of it like some pre-season preparation. You want to get yourselves in absolutely perfect condition, looking good for the sunshine and ahead of the new season, of course, and Manscaped will have you covered, whether it's the beard, balls and strays bundle. That will get you the beard hedger, the lawnmower and the weed whacker. I mean, these names, they are extraordinarily good, aren't they? Or maybe you want the balls and cheeks. Yes, those are words that have actually been said on TalkFCB. You can get the lawnmower and the Chairman Pro. These are incredible options, genuinely, guys. This is a star-studded lineup. Everything you could need there to get yourselves feeling good, and you can get 20% off your order right now over on Manscaped simply by using the code TalkFCB at checkout. Secure that saving and get yourself the best products right here. Because indeed, guys, kicking off then with the Barca news, because I've seen a lot of jokes really on social media after the whole Nico situation of people basically saying, well, you just know that Barca now are going to spawn something incredible from La Masia. They're just going to do it. That's what happens. And the funny thing is, you actually wouldn't rule it out, would you, with Barca, and given what we have seen from La Masia? And that's another reason why, I'd always bear that in mind. We can talk about signing players for million upon million upon million, buying the biggest names, but we should never ever forget what we can and what we have produced on a consistent basis from within. And that is why I want to talk right here about Jan Virgili. He is an 18-year-old left winger coming through La Masia, playing his football right now at Barça Athletic. He actually turns 19 later on this month, and I want to talk about him because he is incredibly talented. This is a very, very exciting prospect here. He really impressed for Spain recently at the Under-19 European Championship. And if I had to describe there the elements of his game that I really, really enjoy, he's got great close control. He really, really has. He carries the ball so well. And I love the acceleration that he has there. He has a real ability to just burst away from opposition defenders. And of course, he's somebody who's got great technical ability. You'd expect that there from somebody who's come through the Barca system. But the reason that I mentioned today, Jan, is because he is somebody who's already trained with the first team. That happened there last season. Hansi Flick really liked what he saw. He was very much impressed by him. And apparently, Flick has actually told him, you are going to be with me in pre-season. You are going to go on the tour of Asia, and you're going to be in my plans for the pre-season period. And that's a massive, massive opportunity here for a very, very talented player. And I think certainly the talent is there. When you're talking there about a left winger, somebody, of course, who can come in and make an impact in the first team, he's got the quality, but the main question in pre-season will come down to the physical attributes, in my opinion. That is something that we've spoken about recently, whereby Flick didn't feel as though last season the Barca Athletic players were physically prepared, that they were physically ready to step up, to make that big step up to the first team. But I think what better way right now for Jan Virgili here to come in pre-season, to get that opportunity to train, to work, to improve and get ready physically and be part of that tour of Asia with the rest of the first team. That is an exciting opportunity for him. I can't wait to see him. I think he does have the ability, and let's see what he's going to be able to do. But if we do indeed move on now to the topic, yes, of Pablo Torre. Now, this unfortunately is a young player whereby it didn't quite work out for him in the end at Barca. He was not able to get those regular opportunities. He was not able to really burst in to the Barcelona team on a regular basis, and he will be leaving the club this summer. It is now, here we go. He is off to Mallorca. That is a move that is going to happen, and they are very, very excited. I've got to say, Mallorca fans right now cannot wait to get their hands on Pablo Torre, and you can understand that. It's a really, really big signing for them. A lot of talent there going to their club, and I think we have to talk here again. Now we know the details of the deal, and we have to start with the transfer fee, which is going to be 5 million euros. Now, I think we all expected it to be low, and I've spoken all about this recently. Obviously, we have a percentage of a future sale, which I'm going to talk about. But can I just say, we signed Pablo Torre as a really exciting young player 3 years ago now for 5 million euros. Now, when you factor in inflation in that time, we've actually lost money. We have again sold a player here for pretty much less than we originally got them for. And there's still talent there. You know, he's played in La Liga. He's played football here at a higher level than when we signed him. 5 million, it's not ideal in my opinion. Because, yeah, sure. Then we go on to say, well, we have 50% of any future sale. Now, that is obviously a big percentage. We've effectively there kept hold of quite a lot of Pablo Torre's future rights, maybe. But that's all well and good if he gets sold for big profit. But then I always think in my mind, if that does happen to be the case, well, then surely you could have sold him in the first place for more than 5 million. I mean, if we are counting on here further down the line, Pablo Torre being sold for bigger money than 5 million, well, surely there's a player in there then. Surely then you could have got more than 5 million in the first place. And by the way, that 50% of future sale only comes on the profit that Mallorca make above 5 million. So it has to be there. Anything made beyond the 5 million euros they paid for him. But I am glad that we will have a buyback clause on Pablo Torre. As of this point, we've got no confirmation yet on exactly how much that buyback is going to be, how much more we'd have to spend to just get him back to the club. And you'd hope, really, that it wasn't a really ridiculous number. But I just hope that he does well here. I'm really, really sad, actually, that it didn't work out for him. I think there is a definite player in there. I think there's a lot of talent there. I think he can certainly go away and impress in La Liga, especially when he's playing regular football, which he's going to get on Mallorca, and I think that's really exciting for him. Hopefully he goes there and does well, and maybe, you know, who knows? We don't know. He could be back one day at this club. But I would like then to move on to the topic of Andreas Christensen, guys, because obviously we've heard so many different rumours about his future, the fact that Barca don't seem to want him at the club. They're looking for offers for him this summer. But at the same time, especially right now, given that we've not really got any big signings lined up, we haven't got anything agreed out there, I am very conscious now of just weakening our squad, you know, because we haven't got anything that we need to sell for at this point. It's not as though, oh, we need to get money in, we need to actually bring money in to register the players that we've got all agreed. That's not happening now. So I would be very, very conscious here of letting any key players, you know, potentially key players, quality players leave the club. We don't want to lose quality. We had a very, very good squad. We had an excellent season last season. We do not want to weaken that by any means. And what I would like to say on Christensen, if you want an idea of what's going on in his head, what his idea is right now, he has already returned to training at the Ciutat Esportiva. He was seen there training back on Wednesday. He's been training since Wednesday, cutting short his holiday to get in the best possible shape ahead of pre-season. And that is great to see from him, because that only backs up what we've heard in the media. He's here to fight. He is not going to lie down. He is not just going to say, oh yeah, Barca don't want me, fine, I'll leave the club. He wants to be here. He wants to play a part. He knows that he can, and it's great to see him there making that commitment, coming back early from his holiday, training out to get himself ready. And if he can stay fit, we said it many, many times, if he could be fit and available, no doubt in my mind, Christensen can be a key player. Speaking, though, of centre-backs right now, guys, I did want to give you a little bit of an update here on the record-breaking Barca Home Kit right now, because we know how in demand it's been. We all spoke about Yamal, you know, the potential number 10 coming up, and the excitement surrounding this young team. But I just wanted to say here, and I just wanted to mention, one of the best-selling shirts so far, it's actually belonged to Pau Cubarsí, and he has proven to be such a popular figure amongst the Barcelona fan base, and I think that's incredible there. I'm really, really happy to see Pau Cubarsí getting his flowers. You know, lots of people appreciating what he's doing right now, because obviously the big headlines always go to the strikers, the attacking players, the players who score the goals, but what he's done and what he is doing at his age, it is still absolutely unbelievable. And I've got to say, to be honest, if I saw somebody out there on the street in a Pau Cubarsí shirt, yeah, I think that was pretty cool. I think that you knew exactly what you were talking about. And if we do stay with defence right now, it is no secret the club is looking at defenders this summer. It's no secret there that ideally they'd like to bring in a fullback. We don't know exactly when or if it will happen, but they would like somebody not only to provide cover for Jules Koundé, but also somebody who can come in and really push him. They want to sign quality if they are going to bring somebody in. And that brings me on to talk here a little bit more about Denzel Dumfries. I think we were all very, very surprised, actually, when Fabrizio Romano came out recently and said, Barca are interested in this guy. Barca, over the past few months, have really been making a few inquiries. They've been talking about the potential of signing, really going for Denzel Dumfries. And Fabrizio says that he has a 25 million release clause in his deal, valid up until mid-July, and only for clubs outside of Italy. Man City right now are also very, very heavily interested in Denzel Dumfries. Now, on him, I would say a few things. Number one, he was spectacular against Barca. There's no denying that right here. In my opinion, if it wasn't for Dumfries, we would have been in the Champions League final. He was that influential across both of those games. Now, what I would also say is, as good as he was then, that is not, in my opinion, how he looks every single week. That is not the Dumfries that you get all the time. And in my opinion, we actually made him look very, very good. He is a good player. There's no doubting that here. He has a lot of quality, but I think we actually made him look better than he is. Now, at Inter as well, you've got to remember, he's playing a bit of a different system. He plays as a wing-back there. He's able to be a lot more offensive. He doesn't have as many defensive responsibilities, but of course he's performed very well. There's no denying that in this system. And of course, don't forget as well, we know he's very good with his hands. But my question to you would be, 25 million euros. Do you think that would be a good signing, a good deal? Is that an amount that you would be happy to pay for Dumfries? He's 29 years old. So would that represent, in your opinion, value for money for Barca? Now, in my opinion, I would rather Vanderson. If we're talking here about comparisons, if we're talking about Dumfries up against Vanderson, I would rather him for two reasons. Number one, he is younger there, so that presents better value for money. Vanderson would be a similar price, I would imagine, to Dumfries. Maybe very slightly more expensive, but he's 24 years old. You're getting there a lot more value for money. But what you also get with Vanderson from Monaco is that he is able to play on both sides. You're not only signing a right back here, you're not only getting cover and real quality cover on that right side, he can also play, if required, on the left as well. And that is so essential when this summer we're desperate for both. We would love more fullback cover, and Vanderson there has the quality, the ability, and the versatility to give you both areas. So I would look definitely more at him as opposed to Dumfries, but would you agree with that? Because then we do indeed move on to the topic of Marc Casado right now. And again, it's a question of Barca having offers, potential offers coming their way. And again, for players who are quality players, they're very much helping the squad. But is there the potential to cash in? Because right now, Marc Casado is receiving concrete offers from several clubs around Europe. There, Chelsea are one of them. I mean, Chelsea right now, who aren't they interested in signing? That would be a much, much shorter list. There's other Premier League clubs too, Atletico Madrid as well. And I think, to be honest, Casado would fit perfectly at Atletico Madrid, wouldn't he? Be an absolutely brilliant player, in my opinion, in their system. And apparently, Barca, if a big offer came in, they might actually think about it. We're hearing rumours here about maybe 30 million euro bids, maybe as high as 50 million as well. And the feeling is right now is that if Barca is presented with that amount of money, well, would they be forced into a potential sale? Would it be money that they couldn't really turn down? But again, you've got to think of the sporting idea here. What is the plan from Barca here? Why are we talking about players who would weaken us leaving the club? If Casado was to go, we would lose real quality in midfield. And I don't think our midfield, particularly defensive midfield, is an area that we can mess with. You're looking at the options that we have right now. Pedri played a huge amount of games last season. What he was able to do, the workload that he had, it was extraordinary. And we were very, very lucky to keep him injury-free. Then you've got Frenkie de Jong, who was brilliant in the second half of the season. There's no denying that. But he too has had his injury problems. You don't want to put too much of a burden on him. You've got Marc Bernal, who's returning from injury. Of course, he's going to play a part when he's back. But that's going to take some time. He's going to take a lot of months here to really recapture the match sharpness that he needs. And of course, Gavi can very much play there too. But we're not stacked. You know, Barca here, if they're thinking, oh, we've got way too many players in midfield there, we've got so many defensive midfielders, we just haven't, though. You know, Marc Casado, in my opinion, he is needed at Barca. He is required in this team. And we can't forget how good he was at the start of the season. We're not just talking here about some rotational squad player. He was absolutely incredible. He was one of our most consistent players there at the start of the season. Remember his Clásico performance? It was absolutely extraordinary. And I just don't think here this should even be an option. We should not be looking to sell players who are helping us, who helped us achieve what we did last season. We want to keep that squad together. We want to keep the quality that we have. And by the way, can I just say, I could not see Marc Casado wanting to leave Barca. This is the guy that, do not forget, we saw him celebrating in the streets with Barca fans. And not just with them, he is one of them. He is very much part of what this club is. He has been a Barca fan for life. He has waited for this opportunity. He didn't even know if it would come. He didn't know if this chance would arrive. And now that it's here, now that he's in the first team, now that he has a part to play, there is absolutely no way that I can see him turning his back on all of that. But indeed, guys, what I would like to know in the comments down below is, do you agree with all of those statements? Because this is a game of opinions. We can all have them, you know, we can all get involved here. And do you believe that Barca need to keep that squad together? Are there players in this squad who you think, okay, we could get rid of him, we could maybe do without him? You know, let me know those players down below if they do exist. But let me know on Casado, let me know here as well on Andreas Christensen, and I will see you shortly, where there will be more news coming up, plenty more going on at Barca now, as we start to build up to pre-season training. And do not forget to get 20% off your Manscaped order right here today. Get yourself ready for pre-season, and I will see you all soon. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, but until next time, guys, as always, Veshka! El Barça!